Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch is a spectacular Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore. It's a rubber clad with gray rubber on rose gold, mirrored hobnail dial, a unique mosaic style strap, and at 37 millimeters, a universally wearable size. So 37 millimeters in diameter in rose gold, it's 12.3 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip, just the case. It is 47.5 millimeters. If we had these intermediate links, the plots as they're called, the total rigid distance across the wrist is 51.3, still very manageable. My wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference, and the watch sits beautiful. It's flat enough that it will actually fit underneath the cuff. And looking down the barrel, especially with the slope of the lugs, this is a really good fit for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters. My wrist is 16, and this is easy to accommodate. Taking a look in profile, yeah, it is probably a lot thinner than you expected to be. 12.3 is about the thickness of a Daytona. It's not sloped in profile like a Daytona, but it's comparable in thickness. Taking a look at the strap now, this is a model and reference specific strap. You can see that there's a little bit of a staggered alignment and profile to all of these individual hobnails. It's almost like brutalist architecture, and that is true of the entire strap. It's a match for this tapisserie dial that is all mirrored, a hobnail with a mirror ball-like effect, and then a simple pin buckle in rose gold, although it's not a large offshore, and don't be deceived, it's not a diver either. This is a standard offshore. It's not a chronograph, it's not a perpetual calendar, it's not a diver. It's an unusual breed in that regard, being an offshore that is just an automatic with a date. But don't be deceived by the small size. It is a massive watch. You're looking at approximately 148.82 grams. Anything that's over about 112 grams, that quarter-pound range, is pretty meaty for a strap watch. This is more than that, and it's physically imposing and impressive, although not oversized. The gold is beautiful, and my colleague Armin Johnston actually had an interesting observation about this case, which is that there's a little bit of an elongation and curvature of the lug profile that gives it a bit of the ambiance of a Royal Oak concept rather than just an offshore, and I do see it. You can see the unusual curvature of the sapphire creates oddball refractory patterns that speak to a level of attention to detail that goes far beyond your conventional vantage points. The finishing you pay for on a Royal Oak or an offshore is a big part of the appeal, and you can see here we have expanding bevels along the crown guard structure, expanding bevels from the mid-case over the lug profiles, character lines that run from the rubber-clad gold bezel right through the case back, a little bit of curvature, lots of creases. Take a look at the crown. Satin finished logo, satin finished facets, but between each brushed facet, we have a little polished bevel, an unusual look that I've not seen on other Royal Oaks and offshores. Screw down crown, 100 meters water resistant, quite robust in that regard. A rubber-clad gold bezel, and it is gold underneath. You can see that it has a lovely sort of soft silver gray color. And the nice thing about the rubber-clad bezels is that they're really robust, and they are good at basically laughing off bumps, collisions, and scrapes without showing any marks. The rounded octagonal form inspired by a vintage diving helmet when Gerald Genta designed the original Royal Oak in 1972. He also decided to go with hexagonal bolts in the bezel. Now on an offshore like this, those bolts are steel, the same hexagonal form used for the crown. We have a hobnail dial that's unlike any of the other tapisserie pieces in that it's not grand, petite, or mega. Instead, we have these rather large, though not mega-sized hobnails, and mirror polished across their faces with satin in between. We also have rose gold dial furniture for the logo, and you can see that's been blackened, as well as the hands and the indices. No shortage of luminescence. We'll take a look at that. Easy to see in the dark. We'll do a quick rundown of some of the features here. It does feature both a hacking function and then also a quick set date. Look at the 5 on the Rehote. Look at the 5 on the date disc. It's the same 5. I love it when brands show the attention to detail to get things like that right. And then we have a quick set mechanism that allows you to rapidly cycle the date, and of course the hacking function, all of that present and correct. An important thing to note here is that we do have a quick release system for both the strap and then for the buckle itself. So we have a quick release system, so you can swap off to a different strap if you want to do so. Leather, various different colors, easy enough to do. And AP correctly recognizing that if you have a quick release to get the strap off the case, if it's stuck on the pin buckle, it's not really a quick change system. So there's this little lobe that moves out of alignment with the bar that retains the strap, and you can see I'm able to pull that out if I wish to make a change. I can get the pin buckle off of the strap quite easily. We just slide that right back in, lock it again, super secure. The buckle with media blast, some elements of polish, and then satin brushed profiling. Roll around. By the way, it's very easy to remove. You just press these two triggers, and just like a car seatbelt buckle, you stick it in, it snaps back on. The movement is caliber 5900, and if you know Audemars Piguet, you know that 5900 is built for AP by Guilloché manufacture, which is the movement arm of Parmigiani. You can even see a Guilloché free-sprung architecture here, so it's a full balance bridge anchored on both sides with a free-sprung balance that makes it very shock tolerant, but also via the free-sprung balance easy to adjust precisely. Automatic winding with a 60-hour power reserve, a 4 Hertz beat rate. You can see that it uses closely spaced ceramic ball bearings to maximize winding efficiency. The 60-hour reserve is generous. We have a rotor with a combination of polish, media blast, and satination, solarization on the ball bearing at center, stripes across the bridges, engine turning on the base plate, a machine applied but neat and handsome bevel, and polished screw heads. It all looks good. You can see this is a nicely sized movement for a case of this dimension. 29 pivot jewels, twin mainspring barrels. So not only the 60-hour power reserve, but a nice flat torque curve from maximum wind to minimum wind, so it will be an excellent timekeeper as well. Lots to love. It is a high horology movement from Guilloché for a high horology Holy Trinity sports watch. And this watch in 37 millimeters might be my favorite recent Offshore, as it just wears so well. So reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.